Namaste, everybody. Haribo. Welcome to Happy Man. Yes, so we're again together. It's very wonderful. Thank you, Mo, for joining us. We're going to tell you a little story now, but first I offer my respectful obeisances to my spiritual masters. Siddhasarupananda Paramahamsa, great transcendental medium of the absolute truth. So, we study the Vedic scriptures, and one of the scriptures that we study and accept as absolute knowledge is a scripture known as the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And it's about the life and teachings of Lord Chaitanya, who is the most recent incarnation of the Supreme Lord to come to this planet to spread this chanting of the holy names to everybody. And in that scripture, Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a wonderful story. Now there's a great saint, timeless, universal, eternal saint, known as Narada Muni. He's a great devotee of the Lord, and he has the ability given to him by the Lord to travel anywhere and everywhere at will. So one day he's walking on a forest path, and he comes across a half-killed deer. There's an arrow sticking out of the deer, and it's greatly suffering. It's flopping, it's gasping. And he thinks, wow, this is unusual, a half-killed deer. He goes a little further, and he finds the same situation with a boar, a pig. Arrow, half-killed, suffering. A little further, he comes across a rabbit in the same condition. Arrow, half-killed, suffering. He's thinking, this is so cruel and so unusual. Who is doing this? A little further along the path, he sees a hunter hiding behind a tree, getting ready to shoot at a deer. There's some deer in a meadow. He's bow and arrow. Narada Muni goes up to him. And when Narada Muni comes up, the deer run away. They see him and run away. This hunter's name is Mrigari. And he's a grisly-looking hunter. He turns around to see who scared away his prey, and he sees Narada Muni standing there. And as covered as he was in consciousness, he understood this is a great saintly person. So he paid his respects. He was perturbed because the deer had run away. And he said, oh, please accept my respects. Why did you come up and scare my deer away? And Narada Muni said, well, I have a question for you. As I'm coming along the path, I saw half-killed animals. Your arrow was sticking out of them, but they were greatly suffering. Mrigari was proud. He said, yes, that's me. That's what I did. And Narada said, well, you're a hunter, so you're killing an animal is not so bad. But when you half kill them and you make them suffer so much unnecessarily, you are responsible for all of that suffering. And in the future, you're going to have to suffer accordingly. And why are you half killing them? And Mrigari said, well, my dad taught me that. That's what he always did. And he taught me this, and I find great pleasure in this. So we can understand how inhumane, how degraded Mrigari had become. And that's when Narada Muni told him, but you're going to have to suffer also the same suffering you've inflicted on others. And Mrigari is thinking, my whole life I've been doing this. My future is nothing but suffering. He was very disturbed by this, knowing it to be true. So he asked Narada Muni, you know, I've been very, very, cruel in my life. What can I do to relieve myself of all of this future suffering? Narada Muni says, you have to do what I tell you to do. He said, yes, I will follow your instruction. He said, first, break your bow. He said, break my bow? This is my livelihood. And he said, no, you must break your bow. He said, look, I'll give you anything. I have many skins. You want skins? I'll give you skins. I'll give you what. But this is my life. He said, no, you must break your bow. So Mrigari said, okay. So he broke his bow. And then he said, so how am I going to survive? He said, don't worry, I'll take care of everything. You go home. He had a little hut in the forest. You go home and you tell your wife that you're going to move from this hut. You're going to move to the bank of the Ganges River. You're going to build a little hut there. You're going to set a tulsi plant, which is a very sacred plant, tulsi plant. You're going to plant a tulsi plant in front of your hut, and every day you're going to worship the tulsi plant with water and chanting mantras. Mrigari was like, this is not what I do with my life. He said, this is not me. But he said, okay. He went home and he told his wife, we're moving. You can imagine. But her being a very faithful, good wife, followed Mrigari. They left their home. They go. He gave away everything he had to the Brahmins. They go to the bank of the river. They build this small hut, plant the tulsi, and they began to worship the tulsi. People heard about this far and wide. Everybody knew Mrigari. He was a famous hunter. And they said, Mrigari, the hunter, is doing this? He's become such a saintly person? This is impossible. They started coming there to see him. Now it is the Vedic etiquette that when you come to see a saintly person, you bring a gift. So, as they came, they always brought some gift. Some rice, some vegetables, some fruits, whatever. And remember, Mrigari had been very, very worried about how am I going to survive? What am I going to eat? I don't have my bow. I can't hunt my animals. No, now he's getting all this food from all those people who come to see him and receive his blessings. And this goes on for some time. Sitting there chanting his mantras, worshiping Tulsi Devi, the wonderful Tulsi plant. One day Narada Muni is in the area again. And he's traveling with his close friend Parvata Muni. And he said to Parvata Muni, let's go and see my disciple Mrigari and see how he's doing. So they go to walk to his cottage, and Mrigari saw them coming from a long distance. Immediately he gets up and he runs to greet them. But he's running very erratically, stepping here, stepping there, all over the place, weaving around. He comes to Narada Muni and Parvata Muni, and he bows down before them, but first he carefully moves any ants or sees where there's no ants or bugs before he bows down so he won't hurt them. Why was he walking so erratically? Because he was avoiding stepping on the little ants and other people on the ground. So when he stood up, Narada Muni was very happy. He said, you know, it is no wonder that you have become so soft-hearted, because you have been chanting the power, the holy names, which have inconceivable power. And by chanting these names and worshiping the Tulsi plant, your heart has been cleansed, it's been purified. See? And so they go over to the little hermitage of Mrigari and his wife. And Narada says, so how are you doing? Do you have any requests from me? And Mrigari is now a great devotee of the Lord, a great devotee of Narada Muni. He pays his respects and he says, I am doing so fine, thank you so much. But I do have one request. Can you please ask the people not to bring me so much food? So this is, you know, a Vedic story showing the power of the holy name, showing the power of following the instructions of the perfect spiritual master. One's heart, no matter how hard, how contaminated, how covered, how dark it may be, can be completely purified and become soft and shining like gold. So this is the power of the holy name. If we take these holy names, add them to our life, so much will happen in your life. See, just every morning when you get up, spend a few moments, if not more, chanting the holy names, chanting the mantra Gauranga, for instance. Gauranga, one of the names of the Lord, purifies the heart. Come home in the evenings, chant the names. There's so much now wonderful recorded chanting from us online. See, there's links on Happy Man on where you can find these recordings. So you can listen. Say, oh, I can't play instrument, I can't sing. Just listen and sing along if you so desire. Change your life completely. The power of the holy name is invisible, inconceivable, but ever present. Change your life. Okay, so we're going to do exactly what I just recommended. We're going to chant the mantra Hari Bol, Gauranga, Gauranga, Hari Bol. I'm going to chant, you listen, then Misha is going to chant, you chant with him. Gauranga, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Gauranga, Hari Bol. Gauranga, Haribol, Gauranga Haribol. So, you can see, so easy. Change Mrigari's life, it can change your life. It can change everybody's life. See? So those of us who have been doing this, we can testify our own personal selves. It will change your life. See? Why not? Okay, thank you for joining Happy Man. We'll see you next time. Chant the holy names. Namaste, Haribol.